Greetings and welcome to PinballHelp. Mike here. Today I am doing a pinball showcase of a pinball machine here. This is one that I've been working on and off over the last couple of months in my workshop, and I finally got it into a really nice playing condition, and I thought I would do a little video on the gameplay and this particular machine. This is an obscure game called Gottlieb Raven, made in 1986. It's kind of one of the later versions of pinball that Gottlieb made after they were acquired by Premier, kind of towards the end of this manufacturer's service in the industry. And it's a very interesting game. It's the very first game that had a photorealistic backglass, as you can see with the female combat vet there. Obviously, this is a kind of a rip-off of Rambo, which was really, really popular at the time, and I guess Premier didn't have the Rambo licensing money, so they decided they were going to make a copy with a kind of sexy woman, flash dance style, on the backglass. And this is also a period where they were trying these photorealistic backglasses to see whether or not people liked them. People did not like them. There's a series of these, Hollywood Heat and Genesis and some of these other games that are actually, you know, some of them are quite good games, but because the backglasses are so atrocious, they're generally regarded as being hated among collectors. Although now these games are actually highly sought after because they were so despised early on that probably a lot of them were destroyed and nobody really paid much attention to them. So they're hard to find. Even though there was over 3,500 of these games made, it's pretty rare to see them. And I got my hands on one. Took me quite a while to get this thing working. And if you go to PinballHelp.com, you'll see a series of videos where I had to do a whole bunch of work on the game. We had some electrolyte damage on the board from batteries. I had memory problems. I had power problems. And of course, the connectors in these games always give you a lot of grief. But I'm not here to talk about repair. I'm here to talk about gameplay. And if you know anything about me, I care less about the theme and more about how the game plays. That to me is what I focus on. So the theme can be about anything. And some people, if they don't like the theme, they just can't get into the game at all. But this is a good game. This is a good, clever playfield design, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's not a multi-ball, so it's not a really deep game. There's not a ton of stuff going on, but it is a very fun game that keeps you coming back to it to get better and better. And I'm going to go into some of the basic things. So let me play a game. I'll play one quick game, and then I'll go over the rule set. And this also has this very cheesy 80s soundtrack, which is particularly cool, so check it out. Neat little military 80s synthy kind of thing. You see the game is quite fast. Now I haven't done much to the playfield other than tastefully put LEDs in it and cleaned it up a little bit. These flippers are slightly out of alignment, and I actually grown to like them. You see, the flippers they're a little bit lower than they should be. They should be up just a tad, a little bit higher. That makes shooting the shots that much harder, because in this game the money shots are these two orbits, the left and the right orbits. And I'll go into the rule set in a minute. I'm just going to bat the ball around for first just to see. Those outlays are very hard to hit. The game's got good flow. It's snappy. You got to be paying attention. Oh! gotta love that kind of cheesy music. Okay, so let's go into the playfield features here, and why I think this is actually quite a good game. It's a lot of fun to play, and I think it's a really good game. As with most of these early solid-state games, the main objective is obviously, you score points in any pinball machine, but the way you normally do that is you rack up bonus, and then you increase your bonus multiplier. And in this game is no different than that. It's basically rack up bonus, increase your bonus multiplier. There's also an extra ball in the game, and that's basically it. There's a few scoring features, but it's a very simple, shallow, straightforward gameplay layout. It has a couple of interesting toys on the playfield. There's this helicopter here where the blades spin whenever you shoot through the spinner there. That's actually powered by one of Gottlieb's standard score motors. You have these pop-up drop targets that are in 4 different areas, and they're the sniper targets. So if you take out a batch of these stand-up targets that are lit with the white triangles, then the sniper comes out. And then the sniper moves around, and when you get the sniper, you get him twice, you get an extra ball. So that's the extra ball feature. Every time you hit one of these stand-up targets with the white triangles, that scores you, I guess, a kill. And each kill is worth 1,000 bonus points. So that's how you rack up your bonus, and you can get them in this bank of 3, this bank of 3, and there's a bank of 4 up top there. Other scoring features include this left ramp that goes up, loops around here, hits this bumper, and goes either to the left or the right and drops into one of these holes going through the little rollovers. There's a light next to each rollover that if that light is lit, it increases the bonus multiplier. So that's one way you can increase your bonus multiplier from 1x to 2x, 3x, 4x. Now, the ramp is normally up, so when you shoot this left orbit, it'll take you back up to the top, and you'll see these 3 rollovers up at the top. That's your main way of getting your bonus multiplier. So if you complete each of the 3 lit lanes up there, your bonus multiplier goes up. And like on the Williams games, you can use your flipper button to move the lit lanes to collect them. Although on the Gottliebs, it's much slower. And, you can only do it like once every second. So even if you shoot the ball up there, you really have to anticipate where it's going to go. It's not as easy on Bally Williams games as it is on Bally Williams games when you're moving that lit thing. So that's a challenge too. Once you complete a bonus multiplier, the ramp drops down and gives you another chance to shoot for one of these to increase the multiplier even again. All right, dogs, quiet. And let's see, is there anything else? That's basically it. Now, if the ball goes through this in lane here, it'll light the spinner for 10,000 points a spin, which is quite a lucrative shot. So if you can get that thing zipping up there, you can rack up a lot of points too. So the other outstanding feature of the game is the bonus does not go over from ball to ball. Bonus is wiped at every ball, but the multiplier is not. So the main objective to score a lot of points is to hit that bonus multiplier as early as you can in the game, and then the earlier it'll carry over from ball to ball, and you can keep building up that multiplier. And so that basically, in a nutshell, is how the game works. Now, what's cool about this game is it's a simple rule set. The main money shots are sending the ball back up to the top so that you can get that multiplier going by hitting those rollovers. But these 2 orbit lanes are deceptively difficult to shoot. They look like they're pretty easy because they're wide. There's a wide opening that narrows down up here, so you've got to be right on the money to get it up there, and you got to go, and on this here you've got to shoot, even though there's a wide opening. There's many ways for the ball to hit and bounce and get kind of bricked up in here on the side. So it's got to be, even though it's a wide opening, it's got to be a really good clear shot to get the ball up there. So it's deceptively difficult. Now, on this particular game, since the flippers are slightly out of alignment, it makes it that much harder to make these orbit shots. I've kind of grown to like it because it really increases in order of magnitude, because the ball is going to be further down on the flipper or it's just different than what you expect when you need to make that kind of shot. So you have, in this particular game, I have to get used to it. So I'm not going to play as well as I would if the flippers were better in alignment. But since this is a relatively simple game, and we like setting our games up pretty hard at the club, if you could do well on this, you could probably do well at Papa or any of the other places where they set the games quite difficult. So let's go for it. Let's see what we can do. Get that rollover going. So these center targets are the sucker shots. You really want to avoid them because they'll make the ball go wild, and they're very hard to control after that. See that? And that. Those orbit shots are very hard. Ah, there we go. Ah, see, you can't always switch those lanes fast enough to get the ball when it's up there. So I shot it up there, but I missed it. So I'm going to put the lane right up there. Try it again. Oh! Couldn't get it. Ah, I got it that time. I think people will normally complain. Oh, there we go. Now there's the upper shot. See, now the multiplier should go up. Bam. Now I just got 3x. Now I have a 50-50 chance of getting that multiplier because I think it randomly lights one of these things. So you'll see the 2x and the 1x lit. So that means I've got a 3x bonus. This will carry through to the next ball. So now I'm working with 3x. Okay. Send the ball back up. Deceptively. Oh! Ah! One of the things about this game is it's slower than a regular modern game. And you can really, it's very obvious when you make a mistake. When you screw up, it's a great game to practice ball control and discipline. In pinball, ball control is really important and discipline is really important. What I mean by discipline is there's certain areas of the playfield you want to avoid. And there's certain types of shots that are like low-hanging fruit. Like if the ball is coming right at your flipper and it's a sweet spot, you kind of think like a baseball player. I just want to whack that as hard as I can because hitting it hard is good. In pinball, that's not the case. In pinball, you want to control where the ball goes, and you want to avoid taking those obvious, easy shots at the ball. So this is a game where you're immediately penalized for that if you just slap the ball around. So it'll help you practice discipline, and then ball control. See, that was a see, this is a good example. I had 3x on ball 1, and then I blew it with the other 2 balls by not addressing the other important thing, which is ball control, which is getting control of the ball. On these early Gottlieb games, it's much harder to get the ball control than the modern Sterns. I think the flippers, you just don't have the kind of control, or maybe it's different. But also, since these flippers are out of a line, you can see I don't have a whole lot of. It's pointed down quite a bit, so this is a particularly hard game to get control of the ball on. If I adjusted these flippers a little bit better, it would be a lot easier. But in this particular case, I'm just going with the flow. This is the way the flippers were on the machine, and I find it's an extra level of challenge to try to control the ball when the flipper doesn't go up as high. Okay, there we go. Ah! Mistakes, mistakes, mistakes. There we go. Couldn't get that out lane. Oh! Couldn't get that out lane going fast enough. There it is. So the sound changes. The ramp is now dropped, so I can make that shot to double. And this one is lit over here. So post transfer. Oh, that's hard. Did I get the 10,000 points? I don't think so. Alright, let's see if I can get that. So now we got the sniper out. See, the sniper target has popped up. If I get that, see, he moves around. So he's right there. There it is. Got him! Oh, and I drained. What's interesting is I drained so fast it didn't register the extra ball. Normally that extra ball would be lit. But I believe I might have blown it because the ball drained so fast. It's really hard to get used to these misaligned flippers. Okay, so now I got sniper lit again. Alright, let's get him. Bam. So now the extra ball's lit. One of them is lit. God, this game is fast. It's pretty cool. You really got to be paying attention. There we go. Okay, 2x, I've got 10,000 bonus, not a whole lot of bonus. I've got one rollover up there lit. I want to try to go for that rollover if I can. So let's see. Ah, missed it. Missed it. There we go. There it is. Oh! And I've missed another chance to get a rollover. Ah, missed it again. Okay, let's try that left ramp, see if I can get that. There it is! Oh, not hard enough. Ah. Oh, nice. There we go. Over 1 million points, just won a game. Okay. Ah! There's that discipline thing, see? Just batted the ball, bam, goes right back down the middle. So I've got 3x, not all that great, but as long as I don't suck on this ball, I should get up on the board. So every kill is going to be worth 3,000 points. But I want to increase the multiplier. There we go. Ow! That lane change is hard to do, man. Come on! Let's try that again. Missed. Missed! Missed. Ah. Oh! I know if you're watching this, you're like, dude, you can't shoot worth a crap. It's a lot harder than you think. It is a lot harder. That ball is going fast. And, So there you have it. It's a fun game. It's got a lot of repeat playability because it's just a great game to practice your ball control on. And I highly recommend, if you get a chance to check one of these out, you do. Gottlieb, 1986. A surprisingly good game during a period when most people really thought pinball was on the way out. Not a super advanced game, not a lot of fancy features like multi-ball, but a good, solid, early solid-state game that's fun to play. So for more, visit pinballhelp.com. Thanks for watching.